1 Corinthians chapter 16, 13 and 14 is the basis of our study for the series on real men. And the very first word is watch. Men need to be watching out for their souls and watching out for the souls of those whom they influence, their wife, their children, their nieces, their nephews, other members of the church, because people are looking to you. And we're not concerned sometimes about ourselves, about all the messages that come in and the way that we're carried away by these messages. In the book, The Man in the Mirror, Patrick M. Morley, he makes this point about how we have these subliminal messages coming in and they tell us you need this, you need this. He says, through the media and advertising, which relies heavily on subliminal suggestions, we are consciously and unconsciously lured to go for the Madison Avenue lifestyle. The secret of fanning our smoldering desires and wants has been elevated to a scientific approach. The economic goal of all media is, after all, to sell products and services. Edward Norton made this point, and it's witty, but it is eerily true. We buy things we do not need with money we do not have to impress people we do not like. And after we run after all these things, at the end of the day, we still have nothing. And even worse than that, we have lost something. If you buy your kids the coolest, most awesome gadgets, but you don't see to their spiritual well-being, what have you really accomplished? Now listen to me, women. I know many women participating in these studies. You need to encourage your husbands. He doesn't need a second and third job. He has a job to be a godly man. And sometimes it's impossible for me to know every situation in every home. But we need to make sure that the spiritual well-being is important. I had a minister recently tell me, I thought he preached for a very affluent congregation. He says, no. He said, I've been here for years. I know these people well. He said, we have a few very affluent families, but we have a bunch of families that are trying to look affluent, and they're up to their nose in debt, and they're working a second and third job just to keep up the appearance. You know who's suffering? Their soul's suffering, their spouse is suffering, and their children are suffering. Real men don't do that. Join us again next week for your Daily 180.